I think the vast majority of us, maybe all of us, support a cleaner energy portfolio, greater proliferation of electric vehicles, and more affordability in our energy grid. Unfortunately, this extreme policy, which is copy and pasted from the state of California, will only make Connecticut much more unaffordable and increase the risk of rolling blackouts 10, 15, 20 years down the line. There are about 140,000 new vehicles sold in Connecticut every year. Say that this regulation increases the amount of electric vehicles that are sold 10, 15 years out by about 70,000 per year. That means that we are going to need to generate about 700 megawatts of new electricity just for the state of Connecticut every single year in order to meet the increased demand. 700 megawatts is about the amount of electricity, the nameplate capacity of these new giant wind farms, Revolution Wind and Park City Wind, which we know there's a lot of difficulty with already. We're going to have to build a new one of those every single year just to meet the demand from this regulation in Connecticut. Now, extrapolate that across 5 states in New England, which are also adopting this regulation, and it's mind-boggling how much new electricity we're going to have to generate in order to meet this demand. Over 5 years, that could be roughly 15 gigawatts of electricity that we're going to need to generate in New England, when we already expect, when the regional regulator already expects demand to go from about 25 gigawatts of peak demand currently to 43 gigawatts of peak demand by 2040. So that means we will be taking, with these regulations, a deficit of about, 18 gigawatts of electricity, 60, 70%, all the way up to over 100%, 57 gigawatts of electricity we're going to need to generate in New England by 2040 under this regulation. Where is that going to come from? Where is that going to come from? And how are the people of Connecticut going to afford it? We already know that these new wind contracts, offshore wind contracts, cost 10 cents per kilowatt hour compared to 3 or 4 or 5 cents in the general market. So you're going to see potentially electricity costs double or triple for the Connecticut residents and workers who are already paying among the most expensive electricity bills in the entire country. What it really means is that we're going to increase the risk of rolling blackouts in New England 10, 15, 20 years down the line. When we know we're having so much difficulty with supply, why would we be stressing demand in an artificial way like this, simply by copy and pasting the regulations that are set 3,000 miles away? We should be going through the normal legislative process for regulation like this. We should be doing public hearings. We should be vetting the actual costs and benefits of the regulation. And again, it is a top priority of the House and Senate Republican caucuses to have a cleaner energy portfolio. That's why we made it our top priority as legislators this term to pass an all of the above clean energy strategy in Connecticut, which, again, thanks to our colleagues, the chairs of the Energy Committee, we were successful in passing. Adding hydropower, which is zero carbon, adding new nuclear, which is zero carbon, to the state's renewable portfolio standard. We can create a cleaner grid. We can make Connecticut more affordable, and we can increase the proliferation of electric vehicles in our state, but we have to do it prudently, we have to do it through the democratic process, and we have to be smart about this in order to protect the middle-class families in Connecticut who are paying too much already.